Good morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn, number 1008 in your teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. We will sing just the first two verses. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. Please be seated.
Here's one thing you must understand about this blessing. It is not for you alone. It is stubborn about this. Do not even try to lay hold of it if you are by yourself, thinking you can carry it on your own.
To bear this blessing, you must first take yourself to a place where everyone does not look like you or think like you. A place where they do not believe precisely as you believe, where their thoughts and ideas and gestures are not exact echoes of your own.
Bring your sorrow, bring your grief, bring your fear, bring your weariness, bring your pain, your disgust at how broken the world is, how fractured, how fragmented by its fighting, its wars, its hungers, its penchant for power, its ceaseless repetition of the history it refuses to rise above. I will not tell you that this blessing will fix all that.
But in this place where we have gathered, wait, watch, listen. Lay aside your inability to be surprised, your resistance to what you do not understand.
As we light our chalice on this day, see then whether this blessing turns to flame on your tongue, sets you to speaking what you cannot fathom, or opens your ear to a language beyond your imagining that comes as a knowing in your bones, a clarity in your heart that tells you.
This is the reason we were made, for this ache that finally opens us, for this struggle, this grace that scorches us toward each other and into the blazing day.
Good morning. Welcome to the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or ERUUF, as we like to say here. My name is Reverend Jacqueline Brett. I'm the lead minister here. And whoever you are, come on in. Look at all those people coming in. Let's make sure that we're making room for them as they enter into the sanctuary, that we move in and make sure that everyone can find a seat. Look at this. This is joyous on this cold, frigid Sunday morning when winter has arrived to North Carolina. I hear that it's going to be 70 degrees next week. No! Yes, that's what I heard. Simon told me this. Who is now blaming Claudia, his wife. But yes, I am glad it is cold, that we are in the middle of winter. I am not yet prepared for 70 degrees in January, moving to February. But as I say, I am the Reverend Jacqueline Brett, the lead minister here. And whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, your gender identities, whomever you love and wherever you are on your spiritual journey or on your search for truth, meaning, and liberation, we welcome you here in beloved community. And we want to offer a very special welcome to the middle schoolers from the UU Fellowship of Raleigh. And if they, yes. And so we invite everyone here who might be visiting with us this morning to rise in body or spirit so that we might give you all an ERUUF welcome. Come on, middle schoolers, stand up. And everyone else too. Thank you all. And if you're on the live stream, please put your name in the chat box if you're able to, and you will receive a welcome there as well. You may be seated. Thank you so much for coming here to visit with us on this Sunday morning. Now would be a great time to turn off or down any devices you might have on your person. And let us all take a moment to center ourselves, to just settle in into this space and into this time. Be here in this now. And let us begin. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm always doing stuff like this. I always think to myself, I think I'm missing something, but I'm not missing anything. I was missing something. So just keeping it real, that's all. So I just want to invite Caleb Graves, who is our coordinator of justice here at ERUUF, to come forward. He wants to share some things to us. If you remember, those of you who might have heard last week's sermon, he's going to enlighten us a little bit on some of the things that I spoke about that the Justice Ministry is up to.
The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, quote, "All life is interrelated. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied into a single garment of destiny." This is a beautiful and true statement, but in our modern world, it can be easy to confuse interrelation for media consumption. Human beings were simply not meant to be aware of all of the suffering in the world all of the time through disturbing images and descriptions of tragedy and injustice appearing on little screens. It is good to be aware of what is going on in the world and what must change. But when these stories are told to us in painful detail meant to capture our attention for advertisement companies, we can end up with information overload and compassion fatigue. In this context, it may be difficult to decide where and how to make the world a better place. And we may question what good a single person or family can do in a complex world with stubbornly persistent planet-wide pain. But we cannot allow that hesitation to hold on to us. We have to take hope and action. For the next 4 Sundays after the second service, beginning with today and ending on February 11th, which marks between Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday and Valentine's Day, the ERUUF Justice Ministry will be in the Fellowship Hall to invite you into Love in Action Month. Representatives from our Justice Action groups will be there to help you set an intention for the 2024 year to participate in simple, effective justice opportunities coordinated by members of this congregation who are here right now. These don't have to be huge, time-consuming intentions. Can you bake casseroles or cookies one afternoon? Maybe make a phone call, move some furniture into a new house, write a letter, attend a rally, learn how to make your home a little more eco-friendly. Then you can help ERUUF put love in action. These simple deeds fit into busy schedules, and when done by many people, they can make a real difference. Our acts of love don't just add up, they multiply together. If we truly believe that we are all interconnected, then we can trust in the power of a single action because we trust in each other. Just as Dr. King said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, love and justice anywhere is an affirmation of love and justice everywhere. If you want to get involved, please stop by the Justice Ministry's Love and Action table in the Fellowship Hall following the second service today and until February 11th. I hope to see you there.
Good morning, good morning. Some of you already know what's coming. Yes, indeed you do. Looking for the smallest and the mediumest and the largest among us to come on down for our time for all ages, and all of you to be prepared for this time for all ages. I see some of our tallest coming down right now also. Excellent. Oh my gosh. Could we, hold on, let me set this down. Could we spread bloop out? Yes, bloop, because we got more people coming down those aisles and we want to make some space for them. Bloop, a little bit of spread, a little bit of spread. Making it work, y'all. I love it. Nice little dance move while we get situated. Excellent. Bloop, we almost got it. Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful. So before we start today, I've got a quick question for you. Oh my gosh, so many people, very attentive, loving it. How many people here have had their name pronounced or said incorrectly? How many people have pronounced somebody's name incorrectly? Now that one I'm raising my hand for. I have a very boring name, so. But there's this phrase, and I keep needing to figure out who said it, because it was somebody smart. It was not me. But they said that, like, hearing the sound of your own name is beautiful, and it's like hearing something lovely to the ear, hearing that affirmation. And just thinking today about all the ways in which, in service today, we're going to talk about how we experience feeling love, like the details of love, and that might be different, and how we give that love and what that means. Today we have a story called Your Name is a Song. So this is for all those people whose names get mispronounced, and also for all of us who are working to more perfectly honor all those names. You see in our first page, our main character is looking a bit down. I'm not coming back ever again, the girl stomped. Please don't stomp unless we're stepping in a drill team, Mama said. Was your first day of school so bad? The girl looked down. No one could say my name. No one? Not even your teacher? Mama asked. She tried. It got stuck in her mouth. Probably not a very good feeling. A street musician swayed and played. Mama closed her eyes until she swayed too. Tell your teacher that your name is a song. The girl wrinkled her brows. I can't say that. Names aren't songs. Sure they are. Take the name Olumide. Olumide is a melody, girl, and so is Kautene. The girl whispered names. Tap to tap went her feet. Maumadu is a beat. Tondo Weitu stretches out like a love song. Yes, girl, names are songs. Sing your name. Do we know the main character's name yet? No, we haven't heard it yet. It's going to be a while till we hear it, too. You're going to have to pay attention for that one. Your teacher will learn to sing it, too. The girl did a jig as they walked on. But then her feet slowed. Umi, she called to her mama. During snack, some girls pretended to choke on my name. Is that very loving? Yeah, probably not. I don't think it'd ever be loving if somebody pretended to choke on a name. At the red light, a car boomed, hip-hop beside them. The bass pounded from their heads to their toes, even in their chests. Pat, 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 Mama patted her chest. Tell those girls some names must be said from here, not the throat. Names come from your heart, the girl asked. Say the name Ha from there. You get to go deeper to say Ahlam. As they crossed, the girl touched her chest. Juana is here. Ngozi goes deeper. It pokes me in the stomach. Yes, girl, from your heart, say your name. Those girls will listen and learn to use their hearts too. Now we're going to take a little skip in the story. If you want to know what happens in between, you got to check it out sometime. On her toes, the girl rose and kicked as they walked on. What about the kids at recess who said my name sounds made up? Now, here's a question for you. Are all names made up? At some point, all names are made up. Every single name. Mama pointed up. Tell them that made-up names come from there. From the sky, the girl asked. Made-up names come from dreamers. Their real names were stolen long ago, so they dream up new ones. They make a way out of no way, make names out of no names, pull them from the sky. The girl reached up to pull names too. Tajay and Trayvon. They sit on clouds with Jelante. Indeed. Mama nodded. And Laquan and Lamika and the twinkle in stars. They're the twinkle in stars and the glimmer in minds that think and tinker. Are these names new songs? The girl asked. Yes, girl, tell everybody to learn new songs too. The girl twirled and leapt to the sky, and they walked on. The next day, the girl didn't want to go to school, but she had songs to teach. Line up, Ms. Anderson said, hollered. The girl looked to the sky. She saw dreams and fire there. Ms. Anderson hollered names. Benjamin, tap to tap, went the girl's feet. Here, Siobhan, to tap. Here, somebody's getting into that tapping. Olivia, tap, tap to tap. Here. The girl stopped tapping. Her name was getting stuck in Ms. Anderson's mouth again. Not a good feeling. The girl sang and sang her name. The whole class started. What are you doing? Ms. Anderson asked. I'm singing my name so you'll learn it. Names are not songs, Ms. Anderson huffed. Ms. Anderson, sang the girl. Ms. Anderson frowned. Your name is a pretty song, said the girl. Now, I just want to take a moment. Adults in the room, all you really tall people, let's try and catch on faster than Miss Anderson does. Let's try and catch on faster than she does, right? Ms. Anderson's frown slowly turned into a smile after our main character said her name was beautiful. Why, thank you. What about me? Bob asked. What's my song? The girl belted out, Ba-ah-ah-ab. Other kids asked for songs too. She sang and sang their names. Ms. Anderson asked, could we hear your song again? The girl sang her name. The teacher sang it back. One kid sang it, then another and another. Everyone sang her name. Cora Jalimuso. Cora Jalimuso. It was music to her ears. So remember, often those names are so important to us. And does it feel good to have somebody acknowledge you correctly, to say your name right? Yeah. To honor you that way? So sometimes if we make a mistake, it can be good to be like, hey, let me know if I do that wrong, because I want to do it right. I want to be good and respectful to you. And with that, I send you onward towards religious exploration for the day in the Care Building, and I will see you soon.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Vayan en paz, puede el amor rodearlo siempre, por doquier que vayan. Would you please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing Open My Heart, which is hymn number 1013 in the teal hymnal. We're going to sing it in a round. If you are on Reverend Jim's side of the sanctuary, you will sing with Reverend Jim, and you all are on my side of the sanctuary. We'll sing it through once together. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give.
Part of the love you
Open my
give.
heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you give. Last time. Open my heart to all that I seek. Let me be part of the love you
Part
give.
of the love you give.
Please turn and greet your neighbor.
I invite you to find a position where you are seated, where your body is comfortable. For some people, that may be feet on the ground. For some people, that may be leaning back, sitting up. If you are comfortable, let your eyes lose focus, or you can close your eyes. And join me in this time of meditation and the deep ask of prayer. Spirit of life, source of love, love, love. What do we mean by love? Not only a romantic love, though that is included. Not only a familial love, though that is there too. But what does a deeper, richer love mean? A love that honors the worth and the dignity of a person. A giving of respect, a cherishing of whom they are. A belief that someone is deserving, possibly as part of their just being human and here on earth. This morning, may we energize and foster our will to bring about a world where that cherishing is a part of our day-to-day life, our cherishing of each other and those around us and those beyond whom we see. A cherishing that we do naturally, trying to honor and love one another in the ways that feel like love and honor to them. We hold that honor and love for those who find themselves in the midst of struggle, for those who are wrestling with personal conflict, with trial, with pain, for those who are feeling pain in the here and the now, and we may not know. We hold today Jennifer Staunton and her family, in mourning Eva Staunton Farrell, who died recently, leaving behind her husband, 4 children and 14 grandchildren and many nieces and nephews. We grieve today and hold Carol Ann Antunes after the death of her brother Anthony Antunes recently. And we hold the beloveds of those who recently have died in our congregation, Mike McLeod and Mary Lacombe. We hold Mike's family after they've had the graveside service for Mike this week. And we continue to hold David, Mary's partner, in our hearts. We also honor and hold love for those who are victims of wars and broader conflicts across the world. May those who hold power and leadership in those conflicts find ways to come together in respect and dignity to find paths forward into love. And we hold honor for those in our community who have recently experienced loss and those who are silently holding their pain in this moment. We also celebrate the paths forward for those who are in the midst of joy and ideal happiness. We celebrate to have the UUFR middle schoolers visiting us today. And we celebrate all those who have come together with us to join in this time together. May those who are in a realm of joy and happiness continue to find those moments on their path, leading toward a bringing together of possibilities for they and the broader community. For all this we hold, blessed be.
My wife Claudia and I were ecstatic about having adopted our first child. We came home from China with a 6-month-old daughter. Mia became an enchanting toddler, bright, loving, eager to learn. We had a delightful family dynamic, but we wanted a son too, and applied to the county. 4 years after we got Mia, a traumatized 4-month-old black baby boy was brought to our door. We named him Jonah. He's 23 now. He's smart, creative, and handsome, and can be very funny and charming. Pre- and perinatal drug exposure and neglect, including midsummer homelessness, have affected his executive functioning and mental health. He has anxiety and depression. Raising Jonah is the hardest thing I've ever done. I asked his consent to write about this. He surprised me by coming here today to hear it. He was a highly active baby and toddler, very cute, very loved. Things started deteriorating when he learned to climb out of his crib. We'd wake in the night to find the fridge wide open or the computer turned on. Boundaries were meaningless. Getting him to toe our line was impossible. He had a series of family and individual therapists, many of whom agreed that he was a particularly tough kid, and a series of diagnoses: ADHD, depression, anxiety, oppositional defiant disorder. He was really adept at pushing my buttons and drew out of me behavior and insults I'm ashamed to remember. I should have been able to be the grown-up, to take a breath, to open my heart to this mentally ill young boy. He and I were both so miserable. I hated the hard-hearted, angry man and terrible father I became around him. I haven't found any decent answers to why I behaved so badly. Maybe I resented him breaking up the sweet family dynamic. Perhaps he didn't match my image of what a son should be. He clearly hated me. Screen time was the primary flashpoint. He was addicted to the dopamine hit the games gave him, but there was other stuff we needed him to do, to make him do, like sleeping, showering, and chores, another flashpoint. He and I were both quick to anger, and boy, could we scream at each other. Daily. Occasionally there'd be horrid grappling to get some device from him. Once I took a hard punch to my ear. We spent years navigating North Carolina's mental health services, going to long meetings with social services and school. He took up so much headspace. His teen years were the most exhausting. I could no longer dominate him physically. 99% of his interactions with us were belligerent and hostile. One caseworker advised us to secure the kitchen knives and lock our bedroom at night. He was hospitalized briefly after coming at me with a carving knife over some stupid electronics row. After a crisis, he'd always behaved wonderfully for a while. He talked a really good game, knew exactly what grown-ups wanted to hear, but soon enough, he'd backslide to being lazy, dishonest, manipulative. He started stealing. Aged 14, he, a black teenager in a hoodie, burgled 2 of his neighborhood friends' homes in the middle of the night to steal electronics. He avoided juvie and a criminal record only because his mental health team happened to be planning his second out-of-home placement, which was accelerated. 6 months before he turned 18 in July, we said if he continued to treat us appallingly, we would kick him out after his birthday, and no one would think any the worse of us. He said he wanted to come to Mia's graduation in May. We laid out clear, demanding expectations for the trip, and he complied with every single one. From then on, he just dropped the hostility. The transformation was huge. I was now counting weeks rather than hours between raised voices. The threat of being unhoused, of losing the comfortable life he has with us, brought about extraordinary change. Jonah has been living at home again, unemployed, for almost a year after 15 months away. We don't fight. We don't eat together or interact much. The setup is far from ideal, but his executive functioning struggles make managing an independent life too hard. Are we enabling him? If we hadn't brought him back from Missouri, he has said, he would be dead. And I believe him. Maybe we are enabling him not to die. The knowledge that our son is safe and alive is our reward for sharing our house with a slob. My relationship with him is pretty limited, but considering the toxic hell he and I were in 6, 8, 10, 12 years ago, we've made amazing progress. I love him enough that I can't kick him out. I love my son enough to keep him alive.
Thank you, Simon. How are you middle schoolers over there doing? You all hanging in there with us? So I can't claim that I've got anything really exciting that you might want to hear, but I'm just inviting you to just hang in there with me, okay? And listen carefully, because I know I'm going to meet with you all later, so I might just wonder what you got out of all of this, okay? It's not going to be a test. It'll just be our conversation. And maybe you have some questions for me about what I'm going to talk about. So this month, we here at ERUUF have been focused on the theme, liberating love. When we focus on themes like this, as we do each month, the theme becomes a thread weaving itself throughout the congregation as we take on the exploration and contemplation of a topic together, from our children in their RE classes to our covenant groups and chalice circles that make up our small group ministry, to those of us here in the pulpit. I have a special heart's yearning around this month's topic, as both liberation and love are deeply important to me. They are also big, marquee-like words that easily become the jargon of the day. I hear people using the terms liberation and love almost everywhere, often accompanied by behaviors that don't quite align with either word. And so I cannot help but wonder if we are understanding the same things. And it is important that we who identify with Unitarian Universalism, who hold a commitment to it, understand what is meant by liberating love, because one of the primary purposes that our Association of Congregations will propose at this year's General Assembly is that we will actively engage our members in the transformation of the world through liberating love. Wow. What is meant by this? Simply put, liberation is freedom. And to say we are pursuing liberation or freedom, applying its transformative powers, implies that someone out there is not yet free. Are we talking about a particular group, identity, race, or class of people? The answer is yes. And as the 19th century activist and poet Emma Lazarus, whose words are famously enshrined at the base of the Statue of Liberty, once said, "Until we are all free, we are none of us free." Those particular words, by the way, are not at the base of the Statue of Liberty. But their meaning rings so obvious and profoundly clear that they were said again and again throughout the 20th century by people like civil rights activist Fannie Lou Hamer, and by Maya Angelou and a host of others, including the blues singer Solomon Burke, all of whom express almost the exact same sentiments. I don't know who, if any, among these people were aware that Lazarus had also said this in 19th century New York. I suspect the words just seem to make sense within the depth of our being, so much so that out of necessity they were said. Out of the depth of our being in which we know that we are interconnected, that what happens to any one of us is happening to us all, in what Martin Luther King Jr. called the inescapable network of mutuality, or the ancient Vedic cosmology and Buddhist belief in Indra's net, a metaphor in which all phenomena in the universe is a bejeweled and interconnected reflection of one another. Or the African philosophy of Ubuntu, I am because you are, and you are because I am. And Tibetan Buddhist teacher Lama Rod Owens takes this even a step further in saying that to aim for liberation is to return back to who we really are, expressions of the same great consciousness. A liberating love, then, is a love that liberates us, frees us. But as we look at our lives and move about in the world, how might we be liberated by love? In Unitarian Universalism, we draw from many sources that inform our faith, and whether we are relating to transcending mystery and wonder, the prophetic words and deeds of people, wisdom from the world's religions and earth-centered beliefs, or the teachings of reason and science, each of these sources have something to say about love that considers how we are to be in relationship with one another, and in many cases, with the earth itself. In the newly proposed covenant among Unitarian Universalists, which will be voted on at this year's General Assembly, it is proposed that we covenant, congregation to congregation, and through our association to support and assist one another in our ministries. We draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building on the foundation of love. It continues, love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. While I believe that to hold love at the center of our values and our actions is quite profound, I suspect that if this new covenant passes in a vote at General Assembly, we shall be unpacking what we actually mean by love in years to come, even as we might agree that the love of which we speak must be liberating for all. Martin Luther King Jr., more than anyone else in this country, perhaps ever in this country's history, courageously spoke of and committed his leadership and his actions in the modern public square to a transformative and liberating love. And what I most appreciate is that King was clear about the love of which he spoke, saying that he was not talking about eros, an aesthetic or romantic love, nor philia, a reciprocal love between personal friends. Both these types of love can easily fall into sentimentality, and while there's nothing inherently wrong with sentimentality, it can also be withdrawn. That type of love can go away when our sentimentalism or emotions have ceased. King was instead talking about agape love, which he described as understanding goodwill for all people, an overflowing love which seeks nothing in return and does not begin by discriminating between who is worthy and who is unworthy of our love. It begins by loving others for their sake and makes no distinction between a friend and enemy. It is directed toward both. He said it is this type of spirit and this type of love that can transform opposers into friends. It is love seeking to preserve and create community. I personally call this love that exists nonetheless. That I might not like particular things that a person might do or say and vehemently oppose their actions, yet at the same time I persist in holding them with an enduring sense of love rooted in compassion and care. A care that I might access through the question proposed by public theologian and civil rights elder Ruby Sales, who simply asks the question, where does it hurt? Where does it hurt? A question that she has found gets to the heart of the matter between people. Because we all have a particular hurt that is most often unconsciously protected by layers of actions and attitudes that allow us to not feel what the writer Zelda Lockhart, who taught a class here several months ago, what Lockhart calls the initial wound that holds us traumatized and prisoner and thus not free. Another part of the newly proposed Unitarian Universalist covenant is that we are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. The mystic Howard Thurman, who was mentor to Martin Luther King, held to an agape love, but also emphasized that to speak of love for humanity is meaningless. He said there is no such thing as humanity. What we call humanity has a name, was born, lives on a street, gets hungry, needs all the particular things we need. I believe we begin to access the spiritual discipline of love when our love is like this, in the particulars. The belief and practice that when we connect with one another, and especially with the other out there somewhere, or perhaps maybe in this very room, that when we connect in such a way, our love holds the seeds of transformation and liberation, not just for someone else, but also for ourselves. Over the past several years, I began an increasingly rigorous study and daily practice of the Buddhist loving kindness meditation, or metta, as it is also known. The basics of metta, sometimes said in various ways, are, may I be safe, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be free. You then move from may I to next saying metta for teachers or elders or benefactors in your life. Then you say metta for family or friends. And next, for someone you might encounter but do not really know, such as someone you might see walking their dog or a delivery driver dropping off a package. And from there, metta becomes really interesting because you next move on to someone who is a source of irritation to you, or that you know that you are holding negative feelings toward. And from there, you say metta for all beings. What I learned over the course of this time from a teacher is that irrespective of who we are saying metta for, because I used to think I was saying it for all these people, but she said that no matter who we are saying metta for, we are actually saying it for ourselves. It took me some time to fully grasp this until I experienced an expansion of my capacity for compassion, an expansion of my empathy for others in a very real way. It took some time, but I noted that it happened. That it was my heart that actually needed to expand, to soften, to connect, if I was really to do the work that I believe is so greatly needed in the world. And so it is with ourselves that we must begin, because we cannot presume to offer a liberating love to someone else or critique someone else for not being engaged with it if we are not engaged in the activity of a liberating love for and to ourselves. For instance, it is me holding the constant awareness that my commitment to my own freedom, flourishing, and transformation for the well-being of all must be tied to my commitment to yours. And that you too must hold the constant awareness that your commitment to your own freedom, flourishing, and transformation for the well-being of all must be tied to your commitment to mine. In the act of doing this for ourselves, we do this for one another. In his recent book, The New Saints, From Broken Hearts to Spiritual Warriors, Lama Rod Owen says, "No one is going to save you. No one is going to save me. You are saved through your own labor with the support and inspiration of your community and other individuals who embody liberated living. We all must do the same labor to get free, regardless of what we have survived." The question we must commit to asking ourselves again and again is, what allows us to more deeply understand and practice love in the particulars for ourselves and one another? To be willing to face our own wounds with support, of course, and in so doing, being able to ask someone else, where does it hurt? Because once we understand the nature of our own hurt or broken hearts, we are better able to soften into compassion as we seek to understand that someone else is holding a hurt and broken heart as well, a trouble or burden that we might not see. Our work is not authentically transformative when we presume to address someone else's hurt while not addressing our own. So this is not easy work, which is why we do it with support of others, whether they are professionals equipped to accompany us in such a way, or the communities that inspire us and hold us accountable to being and doing what we say we're committed to as we engage this journey with a consciousness of our interconnection. As Unitarian Universalists, as beloved community, this is the nature of a covenantal relationship, where we agree to hold to particular values and ways of being in right relationship together. We remind each other of them when we might forget or drift away from them, as is often our human nature to do when we are engaging in the practice of anything. And in our reminders, we must aim to call one another in with grace, with kindness, with humility as we practice together. The values that are being proposed that we might covenant to hold as Unitarian Universalists are values that I believe are not new for most of us. They are interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice. While they might not be new for many of us, they are values that require more than our general understanding of the words. They are values that guide us on our journey toward a liberating love, that connect to our capacity to love in the particulars. Values that demand our consideration, our reflection, and our embodiment of bringing them into action. We will not be perfect at this, as Simon so humbly reflected about his relationship with his son. Or that I readily admit in my practice of metta, I am not perfect in it. But it is through practice that we come to an ever deeper understanding of the particulars. And it is my prayer that we come to do so. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so. So as you all, or many of you know, it takes a lot to be in beloved community together. It takes a lot in terms of our relationships, in terms of just who we commit ourselves to. It takes a lot in terms of our commitment to talent, to give our talent, our actions, and our treasure. And so as the greeters come forward on this morning and pass along what I have, along with the staff now, call the magic pouches. If you have something material, please place it in there. If not, you may point your device at the QR code on the screen, or there's a card in the pew that you might point your device at, which will lead you to our giving portal. We give thanks for all the blessings of our community, especially the blessing of music. Thank you all so much. It is so good to see all of y'all back. It's really nice. And you sound good too, but anyway, we give thanks. We give thanks for everything that brings us together in beloved community, all the gifts of community. Are they staying up for the final closing? All right. I'm sorry. Did I mess that up? You all wanted to sit down, stay up there and sing with us. Is that all right? She's just going to ask you to stand up anyway, so.
It's good. Please rise and body your spirit. Join us. We're going to sing hymn 131, Love Will Guide Us. It's in the gray hymnal, and the words are on the screen. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
Our closing words this morning are a New Year's meditation by Rachel Lamb, and it's 3 weeks into the new year, but why not? Especially when you hear this. May you fall madly in love this year, in love with someone who unhinges your tired trajectory, in love with the particular pedigree of genius insanity that has perhaps claimed you, in spite of your reluctance, and certainly in love with an animal, a cloud, a redwood, the wild, these at least once a day. May you fall in love with this fragile jewel of a world with hard work, real learning, just causes, petitioning, and prayers. May you fall in love with wonder itself, with the grand mystery, with all that feeds you in order that you may live, and with the responsibility that that confers. May you fall in love with heartbreak and seeing how it's stitched into everything. May you fall in love with the natural order of things and with tears, tenderness, and humility. May this be a magnificent year for you. May you fall deeply, madly, hopelessly, inextinguishably in love. May this be so. It is so. Amen. Ashe. Go in peace.